recording some empties / destashes today. And so the first thing is this sunscreen that I've had for an extremely long time, possibly 4 or 5 years. You can see that the PAO is 12 months. So well expired. I finally used it up until like this point, sort of in and around the house, because I was forgetting to use it outdoors. And it being a Korean sunscreen, I held on to it for way too long, thinking that, oh hey, Korean sunscreens are inconvenient to get, really expensive to import. They're not really. And I'm not super concerned about sunscreen, but here we are, getting rid of it. It's probably from, I think it's called Round Lab, is where it's from. I've got updated packaging with English on it now. That's that. Next up, I'm actually destashing this. This is a mini Pat McGrath lip balm in Flesh 3. And first of all, the bullet collapsed ages and ages and ages ago, and I was actually trying to use it up this year as part of like a longer project plan, trying to use up all my goodies that I, shouldn't hold on to. But it really started smelling foul. I used it a couple times and I can smell it on my lips. So with the broken bullet and the horrific smell, it was just not worth. You can see that I actually like kept the bullet in and I try to like smear it around the lips. Not worth it. So this is going to be cleaned out and then recycled if possible. Honestly, I might actually keep it around. I have thoughts about the lip packaging on the larger bullets, but it's actually very charming in this size. But still, I want to clean it out because I don't want to just smell every single time I crack it open. I have 2 mascaras that I'm done with. Legitimately, the Glossier Lash Slick is used up. It is this very short, flexible wand, and it is the driest mascara of all time. It was excellent going on the eyes. Unfortunately, it is a fiber mascara, I believe, and I had chunks flaking into my eyes. Very, very small, couldn't see them, but I could feel the irritation throughout my eyes throughout the day, and it lasted like 2 to 3 months after opening, and I used it maybe 15 times. Honestly, not worth it. I think I got it as part of a set. The other one is Clinique High Impact. Now, this is actually not fully tried out in comparison to the Glossier Lash Slick. However, there you go, you can see some mascara still on the wand. However, the issue is that the wand is so extremely large that it doesn't fit into my eyes. It's extremely uncomfortable to use. A very weird experience, and I had to like stab into my eyeballs with a little tip over here. I've had it open because it's so inconvenient. I haven't used it, and I'm not really much of a mascara user in the first place, but I've had it for probably 2 years open now, and I was like, this is going into the trash. It shouldn't be tempted. What I am keeping it around for, which I recently found was fairly useful, is to repress eyeshadows with. It is an okay size at the bottom. I might keep the Glossier Lash Slick around because it's a similar size. Actually, a little bigger. Maybe I'll keep both of them around. I'll make these clearly trash. But I don't know if I can clean these out properly to recycle. So I might as well just hold on to them for like stamping implements. We'll see about that. And another actual empty. This is ByTerry's Ombre Blackstar. And it is in the shade Bronze Moon, I believe. It was a mini. I got this way back in the day. It's got 0.09 grams of product. Way back in the day during, I want to say 2020, 2021, maybe into 2022, and it came as part of a set. I actually emailed ByTerry and I was like, hey, you guys say you have free shipping. You didn't give me free shipping. What's up with that? And they gave it to me. So that was nice, and the overall set was reasonably priced. I got to try quite a few of their cult products. So I tried this. I tried their twisting mascara one, which was really cool. It was again a little large, and I wasn't really wearing mascara at the time, so it sort of went to the wayside. I believe it's trashed. And a couple lip products and their powder. Their Hydra powder, loose Hydra powder, terrible. The most drying thing on earth. So that was fun to try. So this has been empty for a while, and I've been using a brush to get it out, but I decided that it was choking out my brushes too much. So normally this is something I just scrub on my eyes and blend out. But I decided yesterday that it was too annoying. It was clogging up my brushes, so I actually depotted it and scraped it all out to this little pan. This is a little clamshell, just hopefully to keep it air-ish tight. But you can see what the color is like. It's very, very nice. I would actually repurchase this product if it weren't such an obscene price point. Perhaps in a slightly different colorway, maybe a lighter base. It's got a strong brown base with a lot of shimmer that's very refined, and it gives a very softly blown out look when you apply this to the entire eye. And the shimmers can be sheared out enough that you just get a strong crease shadow as well. So really, really nice. I'm hoping that this doesn't dry out within like the next 3 days and I can continue to use it. Lately I've been using it as a really fun liner. That's what this purpose is for. I'm going to just be using the back of my nails to pull out some product and rubbing it all over my eyes. With that, actually, this pan wasn't quite an empty. It had pretty severe pan on it, such that only the corners had eyeshadow product left. And what I did with that is I repressed it into this little container here. You can see it's actually still not fully dry. I pressed this maybe 12 plus hours ago. It's not fully dry yet. It's got a little bit of alcohol. And I just crushed 2 of my daily-ish regular eyeshadow base color that I use to set and provide an even skin tone underneath. And it's just like a nudie beige color. It's from the Smashbox line. And they don't produce it anymore as far as I can tell, which is unfortunate. May or may not be in one of their new palettes, but for the longest time I wanted to get one of their trios that had a giant pan of this, because I was like, this is really useful. I use it quite a lot. It's the only matte I've ever hit pan on, and I've hit pan on it twice because I had 2 different Smashbox palettes with this color, and it was excellent. But they discontinued those, and I feel no desire to buy a new palette just to get this shade, if it is even this shade. It doesn't really matter. It's just a very sheer, translucent, not super pigmented color. I'm going to set this aside and hopefully that alcohol evaporates. And if it doesn't work, it's time to find a new base shade. Alright, more Glossier products. This is the Glossier, number 1 eye pencil. Really nice, and you can see it's not done. And this is now trash because it is dried. You can see here that the pencil sharpener has the hardest time trying to actually sharpen this thing. And you can also potentially see that the eyeliner has detached from the inside of the casing. So this is extremely dry and tugging now, which is unfortunate because it was really smooth when I first got it. And I guess I didn't use up enough of it. So I probably used around this much of the product before I realized that it was starting to give me a lot of troubles. This is one of their matte brown colors. I do have 2 shimmers that I purchased at the same time, and those are totally fine. However, I've used a lot less of them, so perhaps there is a certain point in the packaging at which when you sharpen to it, the inner, perhaps wax coating or whatever it is, starts being less tight. So I'll find out if I actually have the same issue, if after a certain length around this much, because all of this was basically broken when I tried to sharpen it off. If around this length of the shimmers, whether or not they start also becoming extremely dry. Real bummer. Really, really nice color. It's not worth depotting and using because it's so dry. It chunks. It's not a nice look, and it's extremely uncomfortable to use. I can't see putting it into another container and adding Duraline or whatever, a mixing media to make it better. I don't see it being better. This is probably from 2021, 2022. It came as a mini trio pack from Sephora, and it is their, it doesn't have a number, or if it does, it is so faint I can't see what it is. Anyways, so it came in a trio of 3 lip cream stains. whatever they're called. One was in a red. I'm pretty sure that was 96 because I do plan on buying it again. I fully used that one up. It also came in a nude, which was very opaque and extremely not my color. So that one, I believe I simply put in the trash. It was a pinky, milky white purple, and I couldn't see it looking good on many people. And during that time, we were very sensitive about, giving away products, especially a lip product once you've sampled into it. It's not the most hygienic thing to do, regardless of how much you trust your friends. Anyway, so that one went into the trash. I think I actually used it as a blush quite a few times. It was really, really nice, but too opaque, so it just didn't work for that purpose. This one I quite like, but it's not a frequent color I use, and it's actually not used up. But the issue with it is I tried it out yesterday, and I believe the color and the cream components have separated. So this is extremely oily now, and it puts on the lightest stain, and I had to reapply. It's no longer a creamy feel. So I think the components have separated. It still smells like vanilla, but to me, that signifies lifespan is over. I should no longer be putting on my lips. I don't wear this color anyhow, and I wouldn't repurchase it. So I don't see any point in holding on to it. So this, I believe, is just straight up trash, unless, again, I can figure out how to clean it before recycling. The last product, which I'm still debating about, is this horrific looking thing. That is a Salt New York Sneaky Balm in N10, and it is probably 4 or 5 years old. And the real issue with it is it smells. Now, I thought it'd be okay to continue using because I also purchased a replacement thinking, oh, this is terrible, this is really smelly. Clearly it's gone off. But I purchased a replacement. And it also has a smell. It's a slightly milder smell. It smells almost like cardboard. This, honestly, it's not that bad anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. It doesn't break me out. There are no skin issues. I have no reactions to it. I have a ton of Salt New York products, and they all have various levels of intensity of scent. So I'm not sure what to do with that. I'll also show this is N9. So this is what that pan looked like before I scraped it out and put it in the center, which now looks horrific. I'm hoping it smooths out. And this over here, I believe, is their highlighter in pearl beige. Really, really pretty. I don't use it very often, and I should because I quite like it. Oh, I'm at it. I have this out. This is the only bronzer I've ever hit pan on. It was from a limited edition trio, and I have stopped using it to preserve the color. You can see it's only slightly warmer, perfectly fits into that pan. So I think I'm going to try using this a couple more times, see how I feel about it. I went to the effort of scraping it down, and, I was like, maybe I can get some good use out of it before it really, really does go bad. And once it does, I have a replacement ready on deck. I hope the replacement doesn't start smelling as well. I think it has to do with their formulation. It's a lot of oils and creams, but that's not useful. It's a lot of clay, I believe. There are some clay ingredients, and it smells like wet clay. And they always have had a little bit of a scent ever since I got them. So I don't know if there's inherently something wrong with the product, or this is just how they progress. It does say that it has a shelf life of 6 months after opening, which is reasonable. I used very little of this product when I first got it. I didn't have a real reason for buying it because I wasn't wearing very much makeup at the time. But that's not important here. And now that I am using it, I want to try using it up before it truly goes bad, and I can get as much use of it as possible, because I did actually get the double size thick pan for it. So we'll see how that goes. I'd like to actually use up this entire thing. It's a really pretty highlight. I would potentially actually buy it again after I finish the cream highlight, because it's the only cream highlight I have. And I do technically have Glossier Future Dew. I have misplaced it, and I have been unable to find it for months and months. But this is disgusting looking, and it looks like a project of sorts. I'm gonna try see how it goes. If it grosses me out or I feel like it's not doing my skin any favors, I'll stop using it. It's not that big of a deal. But those are makeup empties and pans and trash and declutter. I am collecting a vast number of indie perfume samples to also reflect upon at some point. So hopefully that'll be nice and satisfying. And which of those things would I repurchase, given my several hundred indie perfume sample stash?